right, good morning. Today is Wednesday, March 24th, 2021. And our I Can for today says, I can interpret data from a line plot. And this time we'll be including fractions. So our first graph for today is going to show time spent on the bus. And we're going to measure this in hours. Now I know most of you are thinking, wait a minute, I'm not on the bus for an hour. I hope not. That would be too long of a bus ride. Which means if you're not on the bus for a whole hour, that our line plot is going to have to show numbers that are fractions. So we're going to measure this in sixths. So I'm going to have 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, and 6/6. If you were on the bus for 6/6 of an hour, how long would you be on the bus for? Yeah, that would be the whole hour. So if 6/6 is one whole hour, which one's half an hour? 3/6. Half of an hour is 30 minutes. All right. So if this is 30 minutes, that means this is 20 minutes. That means this is 10 minutes. This would be 40 minutes. And this would be 50 minutes. And that would make sense that one whole hour is 60 minutes. All right. So we're going to use our data points. I'm going to come right up here. This will be our data box. I've got 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 1/6, 1/6, 2/6, 4/6, 1/6, 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, and 2/6. Looks like lots of fractions, doesn't it? Well, looking at data like this is hard to look at, right? It doesn't make much sense. So I need to take this data and put it on this line plot. So I'm going to start with, you could start at the top or the bottom. I'm just going to start with 2/6 because it's closest. 2/6. I'm going to put an X, and then I'm going to cross it off. 3/6. I'm going to put an X, and then I'm going to cross it off. 2/6. I'm going to put an X, and then cross it off. 1/6. I'm going to put an X, and then cross it off. 1/6. I'm going to put an X, and cross it off. 4/6. I'm going to put an X, cross it off. 2/6. I'm going to put an X, cross it off. 1/6. Put an X, cross it off. 1/6. Put my X, cross it off. 3/6. Cross it off. 2/6. And lastly, 1/6. So press pause until you get caught up. And now we're going to talk about a couple questions we could ask based on our data. So the first thing I could ask, I could say, how many kids were on this bus? Well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There were 12 kids on this bus. Okay. How many kids rode the bus for 20 minutes exactly? I come over here to 20 minutes and I say 1, 2, 3, 4 kids rode the bus for 20 minutes. How many kids rode the bus for less than 20 minutes? So I'm looking at 20. I didn't say or equal to 20, so it has to be a number smaller than 20. How many rode the bus for less than 20 minutes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 kids rode the bus for less than 20 minutes. Well, how much time did the kids spend on the bus all together? How much time did the kids spend on the bus all together? You know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to add something up. Now, a too fast fourth grader would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They spent 12 hours. Well, that doesn't make sense. And we already know that the X's up here are not hours. Those are kids. We have 12 kids on the bus. If I wanted to show how long they were on the bus, I know that this student rides the bus for 10 minutes. 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 And this student rides for 10 minutes. This student rides for 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, and 40 minutes. Now could I answer the question? The question said, how much time do the kids spend on the bus all together? I would have to add these up. So I could say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and I'd write that down. That's 50 minutes. 20, 40, 60, 80. This is 80 minutes. 30, 60, 60 minutes. And that's 40 minutes. And now I could add all of these numbers up, right? And if I add them right across, I would end up with my answer. Now, of course, I would stack them and add them because I don't want to make a mistake. So I'd bring them over here to the margin and I would write 50 plus 80 plus 60 plus 40 and add them all up. 5 plus 8 is 13 plus 10, that gives me 230 minutes. Okay, that's one way I could answer the question. I could say the total number of minutes the kids have been on the bus. And that would be correct. I could even change it to hours because I know there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. I could figure that out. The other way that I could do this is I could look at the fraction and I could say, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 kids spent 1/6 of an hour on the bus. So that would be 5/6 plus 4 kids spent 2/6 of an hour. So really I'm doing 4 times 2/6. That gives me 8/6 of an hour. 2 kids spent 3/6. So really I did 2 times 3/6. That gives me 6/6. And only 1 kid spent 4/6 of an hour. And look, I could add these all up. If my answer was looking for a fraction, this is how I would do it. 5/6 plus 8/6 plus 6/6 plus 4/6 would give me 23/6. When we see 23/6, ding, 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 there are bells going off. We can't put our answer like that, so we make a number bond. I bring out 6/6 plus 6/6 plus 6/6, that's 18, plus 5/6. I can rename that 1, 2, 3. So they spent 3 hours, 3 and 5/6 hours on the bus. Either of these are correct. One's written as a fraction and one's written in minutes. You just have to go back to your question and look. Let's try one more. We're going to talk about milk and how much milk people drink at lunchtime. So this is going to be our line plot for milk. And we'll talk about it in quarts. Now, you know when you drink one of those little ones in the lunchroom, it is not a quart of milk, right? No, it's a little pint of milk. So let's talk about our milk. And we're going to talk about this in terms of eighths. So I'm going to set up my line plot. We'll say some kids drink 1/8 of a quart, 2/8 of a quart, 3/8 of a quart, 4/8 of a quart, and 5/8 of a quart. This is how much milk everybody was drinking at lunchtime or saving. Now, I need my data box. And up in my data box is where I have my fractions. So I have 1/8, 4/8, 3/8, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 2/8, 4/8, 2/8, and 2/8. Using the information from my data box, I can put this information on my line plot to start to answer my questions. So I'm going to start with each data point. I'm going to start with 2/8. I'm going to come down here and put an X. 2/8, I come down here and put an X. 4/8, I come down here and put an X. 2/8, I come down here and put an X. 3/8, come down here and put an X. 2/8, 1/8, 3/8, 4/8, and 1/8. All right, so now I have my information. So one of the first questions that we could ask would be, how many kids drank milk at lunch? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 kids drank milk at lunch. Remember, our data points are telling us how many people were in our survey, how many data points. It's how many people answered the question. How many people drank 1/8 of a quart of milk? Looking at 1/8. 2 people drank 1/8. How many people drank more than 2/8 of their milk? I'm looking only at more than 2/8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 people drank more than 2/8 of a quart of milk. What was the total amount of milk people consumed at lunch? The total amount. Well, let's see. 1/8 plus 1/8, that gives me 2/8. This is 2/8 plus 2/8 plus 2/8 plus 2/8. Or I could say it's 4 people that all drank 2/8. That gives me 8/8. Plus 2 people drank 3/8. That gives me 6/8. 2 people drank 4/8. That gives me 8/8. Now I can add them up. 2 plus 8 equals 10. 8 plus 6 equals 14. That gives me 24/8. Uh-oh, I have an improper fraction. I can't leave it like that. I make my number bond, take out 8/8 as many times as I can. 1, 2, 3. They drank 3 quarts of milk in all. And those are line plots. So that's what you'll be practicing. Take your time, do your best. We'll work on a couple more line plots tomorrow. Have a great day.